Okay guys, so today I'm opening up what has been much anticipated, long awaited, was the Valentine loaded envelope swap. And my theme for this one, I'm calling it the Sweethearts loaded envelope swap. Basically it's a Valentine theme, right? Very Valentine, you guys. I know sometimes we want to use flowers for Valentine. I would say like roses. It has to be very Valentine, okay? I'm just saying that right at the top. Just to keep on theme. I know sometimes people might want to use papers that they have just to make it fit, but it doesn't actually fit. So please make sure you have Valentine related items that really scream Valentine, and or that you're willing to buy those things, right? So that's what you would sign up for. If I have any items that I use that I can link there, they'll be in the description box. Those will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items through those links. So thanks for using those when you can. Please listen to the videos. I know a lot of you guys said you watched them 3 or 4 times. Great. Like, that's what needs to happen, guys. Front to back, and read the guidelines. The guidelines are a basic synopsis of what I say in the videos. So it doesn't have all the information, I mean, like the nitty-gritty, kind of things, but it does have a very good general outline. I think last time around some people forgot to put things in or missed something here and there, and people were saying, oh, maybe I should do a checklist. I don't think the issue is having a checklist. The issue is doing the steps necessary in whatever, like your card or your embellishment items that make it a nice full swap. And I think people were missing those things. So even if you had a checklist, you're like, oh yeah, I made the card, but the card has 2 layers when it's supposed to have a base layer, which is just like your pattern paper, and then 3 other embellishments other than the pattern paper. So I was trying to be really generous last time, but and what I interpreted it to be 3 things, but your base layer of paper is not considered part of those 3 things. So we'll talk about that as we go through, and maybe I will make a card this time. I usually don't do a card tutorial in these swaps because I do card tutorials all day, every day, and I don't think there's ever a card that I put out that doesn't have 3 things on it already, right? You guys will see this video later for Diamond Press if I haven't released it yet. But I mean, it has obviously 2 different papers. This one's embossed. This one has the ink, stamping and inking. And then we have our little characters, and they have little pieces. I mean, that's obviously more than 3 things already, even from your base layer, if you count one of these as a base layer, right? Because this one was doctored up by me. So then we have that, and then it has the little holder in the back. So it's not hard to understand, but I will do a separate video showing what I mean by more than just a base layer, like on a bow. Okay, you'd made a bow. It has tails, it has, the bow, and then that middle centerpiece. All right, throw in a little rhinestone, put on a little resin piece, something else, maybe some tool in between like the tails and the bows, something else, okay? So to me, a basic bow is just those 3 things already: the tails, the middle part, and the bow part itself. Or like a rosette. A basic rosette is already, I'll show you this. This is a basic rosette, even though it's a fun shape. This is a basic rosette. It has the piece that holds it together in the back, has the piece that holds it together in the front. That is basic. I want you to kick it up. So you're gonna put something else. And I always just say something else. Like, I don't even care if it's just this, twine, something else. So this one has a couple things, right? Your card, again, I already showed you kind of what I would expect with that. So this is going to be very similar to what I've always asked for. I'm not going to ask for a tag this time, even though I think Valentine's we probably would use tags on little gifts and things, but what I'm going to ask this time is what I would call stickers. And basically all I want for that, and they have to be heart shape, is like if you go to the store and you buy Jolie stickers and they have or like these 3D stickers where they have like a little base layer and then maybe a little foam and then the next layer, 3D foam or dimensional adhesive, and they're kind of small and they repeat the patterns. They call them repeats as far as Jolie's is concerned. That's the kind of thing I have in mind, but they have to be hearts, okay? They have to be hearts. So the base layer has to be a heart and no bigger than 1.5 inches. So 1.5 inches is still pretty big. In my opinion, they should be like 1 inch, like something cute and small. So 1.5 inches, no bigger than 1.5 inches. Each swap is going to have 6 of them. So you're going to make like a little sticker sheet basically on your own, of your own stickers. And then they need to be layered up with at least 2 other layers. And what that means is 2 other things. But you have your base heart. You're going to use some 3D foam or dimensional adhesive or something to pick it up. And then the next layer is going to be whatever it is. If you have a little scallop circle or another heart, it doesn't matter, but 2 more things. So at least 1 more layer, and then like something else that's decorative. So we will do that together. I'm thinking pretty simple, it doesn't have to, obviously they're small, so just a couple little things and you're good to go. Okay, so that's the new thing for this time around. And the envelope has to be what I'm showing you here, how to construct it. Now I do have a Cricut file I'll attach it in the description box, the link there. And it's pretty straightforward. It's going to be what I'm showing you here. With, you know, paper layers if you want to use paper layers. I did include a bow that I designed out of basic shapes, so hopefully that bow works out for you guys. If you want to use it, you know, great. You can resize it and all that kind of stuff. There's a couple different bows on there. I think one has a layer with like a little heart cut into it. You can definitely use it. I just included it there because I thought it was cute. So you have to construct your pocket or envelope in this case the way I show you here in this video. I already have a video, a longer one. If it doesn't make sense to you in this video, I don't see why it wouldn't. It's pretty straightforward. I'll link that original video from a few days ago where I designed the envelope pocket. It has to be 5 by 7, 1.25 inches thick because of the pockets, the way we design them. So, oh, and this time only 2, send in only 2, guys. I know I said 2 or 4 before, and honestly it's getting to be a lot of, not work, it's just they're bulky, and then for me to store them and all that kind of stuff, it's just, it's a lot. So only 2, all right? And if you want to send in one for me, which I love, thank you so much, I appreciate it, but you do not have to send one in for me. But if you do, that's great, but only 2, and you're going to receive 2 back, okay? The 2 and 4, it was great, but it's a little much. It's a little much, especially right now that it's like, I'd rather not be responsible for, you know, keeping everything safe and contained and all that kind of stuff. So it was a lot to store. And a lot of it ends up here in my craft room. And I'm like, okay, I can barely get around and work and stuff. So only 2, guys. And the shipping on that, I believe, is still $10.60 because I'm going to use a flat rate padded envelope to send it back to you guys. I've seen some of your videos for people who received back their birthday celebration swap in the padded envelope. Everything looks great. I always try to support it really well. When you send in your swap, regardless of what kind of envelope you use, if you use an envelope, please put in some kind of chipboard or cardboard or something to keep it safe on both sides, usually on the top and underneath. If you can package it that way, it keeps it really nice and safe and nothing gets smashed or squished. So if I receive smashed swaps, I do not swap them out, guys. I'll send them back to you. Please don't sign up if you live in a home that has smokers in it, because it just really permeates the stuff. So please don't do that. And I'm sure there's other things I'm forgetting to mention as I go through. So I'm just going to look at the guidelines really quickly just so we can talk about that really quick. So again, postage, I believe, is $10.60. You have to include it as cash. You can send it in however you want, nicely protected. I'm going to send it back out in a flat rate padded envelope. If you're interested in those flat rate padded envelopes, just go to USPS.com, click on shipping and supplies, and say free shipping supplies or flat rate shipping supplies, and they'll come up. They'll bring them to your house for free, and they're free. So they're free, and they bring them to your house for free. So you can definitely grab those yourself if you want them to send in with. It's a great service. So again, if that price did go up, because supposedly in January, they had holiday rates, which I knew they weren't going to switch, and they haven't, but I heard that they're going to go up again, which I don't know that that's the case. It might be for different types of mail. But for right now, when I checked, it was still $10.60. If there's a change in that, it'll be in here, right here, where I'd say how much the price is. I'll change it, okay? So your swap will have 2 alternate stuff embellishment envelopes. I don't know why I call them embellishment envelopes. That's really what we're doing. We're sending each other some fun things in a Valentine theme. Now, I am calling it sweethearts, and I guess you can interpret that however, but it needs to be very Valentine. So I wrote that there. No other envelope types will be accepted, et cetera, et cetera. You do need to decorate the envelope in a fun way, more than just the matte layers that we always basically do. But on the outside, please do not include anything that's supposed to be on the inside. Like on the inside, we can do a dangle, we can do, a rosette, we can do, well, I guess if you want to put a rosette on the outside, that's fine. But what I mean is like the extra thing that I would ask for later in this checklist needs to be on the inside of your envelope. And we'll walk through all those things together. But the matte layers and decoration of the matte layers does not include the extra embellishment, and that extra embellishment needs to be on the inside of the envelope, okay? So no thick things on the outside is what I'm trying to say. Nothing else, nothing extra, no other gift, no other anything needs to be packaged on the outside. Everything that you're sending in for that person, for that swap, needs to be on the inside of your pocket. Envelope pocket, or envelope box, I guess. Number 2, the envelope swaps will each have 3 die-cut and assembled bows, 3 handmade paper rosettes, 3 handmade paper tassels, or 3 handmade and formed layered flowers. So I'm opening that up. People like to make flowers. I'm not super wonderful at it, but if you like to make really amazing formed flowers, I don't want to see 3 pieces of flat, die cuts that you stick together in the middle with a rhinestone or something. They need to be formed like really wow, right? Not just flat, and not even just a little curl. It needs to be like some really good flowers, because I know a lot of you guys out there do them really well. Or a mixture of those 4 things, but you need to send in 3, right? So It can be one tassel, one rosette, and one bow. 3 things. One flower, one tassel, one rosette, whatever. 3 things, or all 3 the same, right? 3 bows, 3 rosettes, 3 whatever. However you want to mix that up, but 3 of them in each swap. And then again, I do say please decorate your bows and rosettes in a way that is more basic than basic layers. I said add a cute center, topper pieces, you know, etc. And I guess cute center, I'm sure somebody will be like, well, that is a cute center, right? No, more than just this. So, okay. And then the flowers should be several layers and formed in an artistic way is what I said. These items need to be at least 1 inch in size. So it can't be like this micro mini thing. At least 1 inch in size. And if you're great at making like little flowers, that's awesome or whatever. Just again, they need to be super decorated and at least 1 inch in size. Number 3, the new thing, each envelope will include 6 small layered heart stickers, I said. So the stickers should be no more than larger than 1.5 inches and have at least 2 other layers and embellishments aside from the base heart. Okay, so we're going to create those together. The first layer must be propped up by dimensional adhesive, and then I'll show how to create these. And to think Jolie's or something like that, right? Type stickers. Each envelope swap, and I don't mean the base heart has to have sticky material on the back. We're not making stickers like on a Cricut or something. I'm just saying they should look like they were little stickers, you know? Each envelope swap will contain a handmade Valentine card, and the card must be made with at least 3 different embellishment items other than the base layer of paper. And I've always said that, and I don't know what happens. People just don't, I don't know. So I include a little more info this time, and include an appropriately sized envelope. This means adding different die cuts, sentiments, stenciling, embossing, pearls, rhinestones, flowers, whatever, right, to really flesh out your card and make it really nice. And please leave the cards blank inside so the person can use it. Each envelope swap will have at least 1 tablespoon of a shaker mix, and of course the shaker mix, again, as always, has to be at least 3 or more items, and they cannot just be 3 sequins that are just different variations of color, or like 3 hearts that are different colors. Like, really mix it up, you know, different spangles, shapes, all that kind of stuff, colors, and at least 1 tablespoon of each of these of your mix in each swap, right? And they can be packaged however you want, you know, like I said, at least a tablespoon. So I have those cool, like, Ziploc kind of pouches. You can put them in a glass, you know, little vial. People like to do that, and that always looks really cute. Lots of ways to package something like that. So however you want to do that, as long as it fits in your pocket, right? Each envelope swap will contain 5 die cuts. So still 5 die cuts, of course, Valentine themed die cuts. Everything is Valentine theme. I know I didn't say it over and over, but like, hello, everything needs to be Valentine theme. And any material that is layering that is appropriate. So, you know, if you want to cut it from felt, great, or foam or whatever, I don't care. Your 5 die cuts, I usually keep them pretty thin because I need that space for other things. So I usually keep them kind of thin, right? Even though they might have some layers. What I'm saying is I don't really use foam or felt because I need them to be like not taking up a lot of space. But that's up to you. And then each swap will contain a Valentine gift, so a little treat, whatever you want that to be. Edible items need to be sealed by the manufacturer, no loose wrapping, like no like lollipops that just can be unwrapped, or like Hershey Kisses that are out of their little bag, you know, things like that. It can be an edible item, like I said, craft items, handmade items, whatever it is that you like, that you want to give that fits in your swap. And then finally, please add 1 extra embellishment to your envelopes, and something like a beaded dangle, tassel, altered paperclip, rosette, decorative picks. It says this should be attached in the envelope in a way that is visible. These items are supposed to fill out the loaded envelope. So that's the whole thing. A loaded envelope, when you look at it, or a pocket, it's supposed to look like just super full, right? So you add little picks here and there, maybe little paper clips here and there to make it look fuller, and that's the whole thing. And I only ask for 1. I know some people do several, and that's great. I only ask for 1, and if you can fit more and make it look really great, go for it. But at least 1 is on that. Everything else, I would pretty much stick to what I'm asking for. The rosettes and the bows and the dies need to just be 3, guys. I think the only thing that where you can do a little extra if you want still to do more would be the extra embellishment, because again, you can put several paper clips and it looks really cute, or whatever. And everything needs to fit inside the envelope. Nothing hanging on the side or outside. Decorating the envelope should not be too bulky. No chunky things like dangles on the outside. Like, nothing that's I'm asking for the inside of the envelope should be on the outside, other than your matte layer decorating and just making it cute, right? And again, just not too bulky. All right, so again, they don't have to be exactly the same. I know sometimes people run out of paper or whatever, so they just have to be the sweethearts, Valentine theme. And I do prefer they're the same because it makes it easier for the reveal, but that's up to you. And then we'll do the live premiere video after they all come in and all that kind of good stuff. So again, at the end of this, I will have written measurements of paper. The actual construction will be in this video, and then I'll include the Cricut cut file too for you guys. Also, I haven't typed it up yet, that's why I wasn't going to show it, but when I do say, the sizing on the envelope box, I'll also link, hyperlink right here when it says loaded envelope box to the video where I actually created it, took the whole time to step by step start from scratch making the envelope so that you guys understand where I came from with numbers, if that's helpful. So it's a hyperlink. All you do is click on it on the Microsoft Word and it'll take you to that video. Okay guys, I think this will be fun. The birthday celebration stuff was super fun. It's just, I have rules and guidelines because I don't vet people. I don't say you need to have an Instagram, you need to have a YouTube, I need to see your work, like none of those things. Use your best quality items, and if you meet the basic requirements, great. If you missed it, then they're going to be not swapped back. They're just going to be sent back to you. Last time I didn't have the heart not to swap people out, but I think there is no incentive for people to just do the correct thing if I keep swapping them out, if I keep showing them on video. So they will not be in the video and they will not be swapped out. And even, I'm sorry, it's just what it has to be, because otherwise, and people will just keep doing whatever they want, I guess. And it's not so much that, it's just that I know the comments I used to get when we first started swaps were like, oh, I wish I had done more. Oh, I don't think mine was good. So what I'm trying to do is gently show you and push you into a way that, makes a nicer swap, a fuller swap, a better looking swap, and really just a fun swap for someone to receive. And that's why I have those guidelines and rules. And if people send things that are subpar and then someone sees that, oh, I'll do that next time. It's like, no, don't do that next time. You need to do what I was asking. So that's why I'm not showing them. And I'm not swapping them. It's not a punishment, but it's just something I gotta stick to, So just have fun with it. I think it's gonna be really fun. I'm really excited to try out making those little stickers. I really honestly have no idea what I'm gonna do. I feel like it's gonna be something similar to like this part, but the smaller heart, and then something else that's cute. I don't know. We will see. I don't know that in this video I'll show you how to make a heart rosette, or in these tutorials, but I have a whole video on just this, so I'll link that when that video goes live. I don't know if I already released it or not. It just depends on how the day's going with all the different releases that I have to do with Diamond Press and things like that going into HSN's Craft Day. So we will see. But I'm super excited. I think this is gonna be a lot of fun. So without further ado, let me grab some paper and we will get started. Oh my gosh, you guys, sorry for the super rough edit, but I forgot to mention, and you guys have a sneak peek here what we're doing. Postmarked by January 31st. So that doesn't mean January 31st after your mail has closed and they're gone for the day. January 31st during the day, so that they actually go out on the 31st, and that gives us a few weekends here. And sorry, and one more thing that I do recall later in the video, but to sign up, you need to send an email. My email is in the description box. Okay, guys? All right, let's get to it. So for the, I guess I could have brought this out at the beginning instead of just describing things, but for the other tutorial where I actually designed this, I made this box. And I used a paper pad that was really cute. Love this, actually. I mean, I think they're still adorable, but I ordered this purposely for this occasion. So I'm going to use this really sturdy, probably I would say 350 GSM paper. Again, use the best papers you have. Thick paper, I'm telling you, it just feels different when you have it in your hand. And I've had lots of swaps come through my house here, and you can tell when something is just like Recollections paper where it's real thin. It doesn't feel as nice, it doesn't look as nice. It just, you can see the sturdiness, I'm telling you, through the camera. But this stuff is really heavyweight. I think this is from Hobby Lobby, but anything basically European, tonic, Crafters and Pen, generally, you're gonna have some good thick paper. And then your pattern paper, right? So this is different from the other papers. Now, I'm not saying this has to be the thickest paper in the world. You can use layering weight paper, of course. You just want to matte layer. Oh, I just nicked that. Oh well, I probably never use this paper anyway, but that's kind of a bummer. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and cut down everything because I went through all of this stuff in my last video, so I might still pull out some papers from the other paper pack because that is very cute. But mostly it's gonna be from this paper pack. So I'm gonna cut everything down to what I was describing in the last video, and then I'll go over the numbers again real quickly, but for right now I'm just going to cut everything, and when I come back I'll have my pieces. This is going to be tough. I have a lot of ideas, a lot of papers I want to use, which I know I can't. You can only use so many, but okay, well, so I already have my 2 sets of base envelope pieces cut down. So basically these are what creates the flap, the back and bottom, and then the 2 pockets. And again, I go through this very slowly in the longer video, so again, that's linked in the description box. I do want to say before I get too far though, if you're already in a swap that I already have going, I'm going to give about a day to people who are kind of newcomers or who haven't been in a swap in a while to sign up, and then basically as the emails come in, I just go, okay, this guy later, this guy later, this guy later, and then when I go back, in about a day, I'll start with the first one that came in and then admit those to the swap. So I hope that makes sense. I think it's just the fairest way I can do without doing like a drawing that people are like, oh, I never win drawings, or like a lottery thing or whatever. So if it starts filling up really, really fast, which I doubt, because there's usually a whole group that just want to come in really quickly, just know I might not contact you until the next day. Okay, if you're already in a current swap or a more current swap, should I say. Okay, guys. And so these are our papers. I'll tell you really quickly. And of course I forget what's what. Let me see, 8 3/4. Okay, so we need a sheet that is 8 3/4 by 7, and this is basically the one that's going to come around the back. It's this back piece. It comes down across the bottom and then up here. Makes it super sturdy because you have a couple layers of paper here, plus the matte layer that when you come in. So it's just this piece right here, 8 3/4 by 7. You need a piece that is going to make the flap that is 6 3/4 by 7. They're 7 inches wide because the envelope is an envelope, so it's wider this way. So I'm going to start misspeaking. 6 3/4 by 7, and this is going to make the flap, again, right here. And then we need our 2 pocket pieces, and the one that makes a small pocket is longer than this guy because it needs to come up and clear this whole thing. So I make it so it's super sturdy, so hopefully in shipping, when you try to crush that, it doesn't want to because it's going across here, it's glued here, and going around. So you have just that extra oomph, that's kind of why I designed them the way I do. And so for the 2 pockets, you need a piece that is the taller pocket. It is 3.5 inches by 9.5. So 3.5 by 9.5. And then this guy is 10.5 by 2.5, okay? You can cut it a little skinnier than 2.5 if you want, because you're gonna wrap the other one back up around it, and they might end up being the same size, or maybe this one's gonna peek over a little bit because of the way it's sitting there. So if you wanna take a little, tiniest amount off of it, you can. I forgot to do that with this, and I'm sure it'll be fine. So let's go back to this piece, 8 3/4 by 7. And you're just gonna score it, generally this is a piece of paper that doesn't have a pattern on it. Generally pattern paper is a little bit thinner, even if it's in the 80-pound. I'm talking about 110 pounds, 350 GSM weight paper for your pocket would be best. But anyway, so if you have a direction, though, definitely pay attention to that. So for right now, all we're going to do is score this at 2.5 inches, 2.5, because that's going to be our front pocket kind of area that comes up. And then from there, we're going to measure 1.25 inches, which clears that. Oh my goodness, I just got a choke over here, which clears the bottom gussets, so 1.25. So we need to be 3 3/4. So 2.5, and then 3 3/4. And, I like to score kind of in this direction, whatever it is that you want to do. I generally don't score really tough like this, but here we are. Okay. So that's, sorry, that sounded ugly. That's that one. Okay, bottom piece. Top flap is going to be a little more particular, so let's just go to front pocket. And then we'll do the top flap in a minute. So front pocket, the small guy, again, is 2.5 inches tall, 10.5 inches wide. On either side, we're going to score it at 1/2 inch for a glue tab. And then it needs to clear the 1/2 inch pocket. The space right here is 1/2 inch. I always design it that way, so this first part is 1/2 inch wide, and the second part is 3/4 inches wide, and I don't want to go any wider than that. I think that's the best way to ship. If we do 3/4 and 3/4, it's gonna start getting crushed, you know what I'm saying? So this is as chunky as I think I can make the pocket, or as thick as I can make it. So 1/2 inch glue tab, we're gonna clear 1/2 inch plus the 3/4 inches that's here, so that's another 1.25 inches. So generally that's scoring at 1/2 inch and at 1 3/4, so at 1 3/4 on both sides. 1/2 inch and 1 3/4. And again, you know, you can kind of leave the bone folding for later, because sometimes you do have to kind of like, oh, move it a little bit so it's lined up better, but right now I'm just giving it a very light scoring. Okay. Larger pockets, 3½ inches tall by 9½ inches wide, and this one we're doing our 1/2 inch glue tab, plus just the 3/4 inch thickness that it is, so you're going to score again at 1 1/4, so 1 1/4. 1/2 inch, 1 1/4. Other side. 1/2 inch, 1 1/4. These numbers, like I said, are written in the, I don't know why I keep like not scoring long enough, in the guidelines, but the construction is here. I don't write out the construction. I can't even imagine how I'd write it out, because I like to be concise, but I also don't want to confuse people, and I think when you write, a lot of times there might be some extra words, you forgot something, it's just the whole thing. So these two guys are going to be glued together like this, and that is your pocket areas. Okay, so let's put those to the side. The last piece, let's just make sure we have this. Yep, 7 inches wide, 6 3/4 inches tall, and on the 6 3/4 inch side, we're going to turn it a little bit here. We need a glue tab, so 1/2 inch glue tab, and then we just need to clear this top part, right? The 1 1/4 inches up here. So glue tab, tuck back there, 1 1/4 inch here. So again, that's I believe 1 3/4. So at 1 3/4. So we are scoring, this is 7 inches this way, it's 6 3/4 inches this way. It's kind of hard to tell because it's almost a square. On the 6 3/4 inches shorter side, you're scoring at 1/2 inch and 1 3/4 inches. Now I can mess with this right now or just wait a minute. So, well, I'll go ahead and score it just so you guys have a better idea. So this is the one that's a little tricky. I'm going to take a little bit of divot off of this just so it sits better when we glue. It's just going to that score line, okay? We're going to bring this on the 7 inch side to whatever scoring tool, use a ruler, however it is that you want to do this. I think probably, actually I do have measurements on this side, so this is good. You can use a ruler, like I said, whatever it is. I gave Miranda my pencil. I'd rather use a pencil than a pen. Here's a pencil. This one should work. 7 inches wide. We need to find the center point to make this, right? To make that little point. It's not hard, guys. You just have to, okay, 7 inches. At 3½ inches, I'm going to put a little tiny dot. And you can do this on the front or the back. You can just erase them when you're done. But I'm putting the smallest dot like ever. Just a little mark. Then we're going to turn it this way. Now, you don't have to turn it this way, I suppose. We're looking at the 5 inch, which is actually a little bit bigger than 5 inch. That's interesting. How funny. Let me see. Yeah, you see how it's like more on the 5 and like a 1/16. But anyway, on the 5 inch side, we are going to score, not score, we're just going to mark at 2½. So 2½, that's right in the middle of that 5 inch piece, right? We're not including this. This is the 5 inch piece in the front. And if I turn it this way, we're also going to be there. Or I could leave it here and use these side pieces, right? So 2½ is right here. Tell me mark it. Whatever you need to do to mark 2½ inches. So right in the center of the 5 inch, right? Right in the center. And then on the 7 inch side, you need to find the middle, which is 3½. And I am just eyeballing this. But you're going to do the best eyeballing you ever done in your life, okay? So I'm going to bring this over here. And I like using my guillotine, but whatever it is that you want. All I'm going to do is angle it so that the blade is going to hit here and come out there, right? So I'm looking at this, I'm just eyeballing it and just trying to keep it pretty straight where I think those little dots are. No one's going to be like, oh, that's not exactly it. Okay, that's one side. Now on the other side, again, from that little mark right to this guy. And we're going to do the other portion the same way. It's just easier to not do math and not to have to do all kinds of funky stuff. And the other one, actually, I just go off of what we did here. So your mat layer is going to be pretty much the same. Again, right from that point to where that pencil mark is. And it's that easy, guys. That's it. Again, try to, you know, be as straight as you can, but it's not the biggest deal. I'll erase these little pencil marks. And that is that. So what we're going to do is go ahead and glue this one together. And it's literally just these 4 pieces. I think it took 5 and a little bit more pieces of paper to do the 2 pockets, I want to say. It might have been 4 and a little more. I'm trying to think. because from the bigger pieces, from some of these bigger pieces, you can still get like your 2.5-inch strip for this, you know, and still have that. It just depends on how you're cutting your paper. But I think I ended up needing one more of the 3.5-inch from like another piece of paper. So that's why it is like 4 and then a little bit more or something like that. Anyway, okay, so we can start gluing this together. I probably did it differently last time, so we can glue the top on now. You can glue the things in. I feel like this is gonna be extra, so let's go ahead and make our little steps here. So with this guy, you know what, I wanna use my Nuvo Deluxe. Hopefully it's ready to go. Sometimes, especially this one, I'm down at the bottom, it wants to clog up on me because it's older. I don't know if it's just me. What I've noticed about this Barely Arts is like sometimes it wants to reactivate the paper and it just like kind of comes open. I get that sometimes with the glitter glue too. I'm holding it, I'm like, why is this like reactivating the fibers in the paper, you know, kind of thing. It's kind of annoying. All right, I'm gonna shake this down though and get it ready because I know, like I said, it's pretty much empty. I don't know if you can see these big, huge air bubbles. I'll be right back. I think we're good to go. Let's see. Okay, so on one of these inside tabs, I put glue, and I put glue like halfway on this other one, because what happens is when I put these two together, they will touch there on the back tab, right? That back glue tab. But then they'll also touch here on these very sides. And again, just for that sturdiness, I like to make sure they're glued together also. And I give it a moment to set up, but essentially we're gonna do the same thing on this other side. Put glue on this whole tab, and then like halfway close to the glue tab area, and line those guys up too. I was being a little bit lazy. I had left the extension arm here under my desk area, and I went to cut this at my couch, and I was like, so some of these numbers I was eyeballing. I know I was eyeballing the length of this one because I had to only take a 1/2 inch off the paper, and I think that's why I'm getting a little bit of this bowing here, because it's probably a little bit longer than it should be, but that's okay. We'll just do this. Okay. So I'm gonna hold those until they're solid, like ready to go, okay? I'll be right back. Good to go. So that is like a little kind of stepper thing, and we're gonna bring that right into here, okay? So I'm doing this construction a little different than the other pockets. The other pockets I would have a second piece that would go underneath here to keep things from falling out, but this time I just designed it a little bit differently. And I think it's pretty quick, guys, to put the actual pocket together. So glue all down the tab that's facing back around this way, and when you bring it over here, we're going to stick it down right to the edges, but also paying attention to where our score line is. So edge, edge, and score line, so we're not making so it won't close up like this. Oh my gosh, how fun. We're almost there, guys. Takes a little bit there. Okay, I'm gonna wait for that to set up just a little bit, and while I'm waiting for that, I'll just go ahead and glue the front down too. So that whole flap comes up across the front. Now you have 700 GSM right thickness there, so it's really nice. I am gonna switch this out because I'm not gonna fight with this right now. Oh, it's just a great day for glue today, I think. I wonder if it has to do with the weather too. Sometimes it does. But anyway, I guess we're gonna fight with all the glues today. Let's poke that in there. Come on, buddy. That is too funny. Oh my gosh. Okay, so then that comes up like this. Okay, and so while you're gluing all this together, you can kind of keep an eye left to right, making sure everything's pretty good. Squeezing it down. And then the last bit we're gonna do is just add this flap. So the construction's really quick if your glue is, you know, cooperating. We're good to go here. I'll be right back. Let's see. So last thing we're gonna do is just glue this flap on. Very easy, you see. Oh my goodness, why? It is a crazy glue day. That's pretty crazy. All right, let's put those two to the side and just glue on this inner tab, right? Like on the side that's on the back side of the flap, because we're gonna stick this on here. I suppose you can stick it to the outside, you know, it's up to you if you want to glue this to the outside and then use a matte layer to cover it, however you like. I'm just putting them all inside, and then you definitely need to check and make sure that you're right on the edge there. And that would be a little bit lower than the edge. So again, you could have done this part first and then added your pocket or whatever makes it better for you. There you go. So I'm just going to hold that down. And I'll be right back. And that's our basic construction, guys. So this is our basic construction. Now, look how cute. It's all there. So I will say in the other video, I had extended this just a little bit. I had said to go ahead and mark it at like 2 5/8, just so that this is just a little bit longer, that it clears that area, because right now it's 2 1/2, 2 1/2, right? So it's just there. It's not the biggest deal. If that makes it easy for you to just do 2 1/2, you know, marking it there and then marking it at 3 1/2 and cutting from there, go for it. If you want to do what I did initially in the other video, I did 2 5/8, so it just clears it a little bit more and then it comes down. It's a very small difference. Whatever you like. I will show you how I did the matte layer for this, and then we'll talk about the sizes for the other ones, and I'll just come back with pieces that work. So for this one, I like my matte layers being 1/8 of an inch, and you guys know that, so I talked about in the last video all different things as far as matte layers. So the back area is basically the same size as what this is going to be that we put here. So this is cut at 4 7/8 by 6 7/8, which is going to be the same for the back, 4 7/8, 6 7/8, or 4 3/4 and 6 3/4. That is up to you, right? So this back piece, we'll just matte layer right in there with just a little bit of extra, which is what I prefer. Okay, let's pretend I'm not using this paper. This paper I'm going to use on the flap. So if I have this here, this is the easiest way to do this without doing any kind of measurement as far as like numbers. We're just gonna go for it. So if I have this here, you can see it's already right down at the tip there. So I have about a 1/16 of it all around that I'm gonna deal with, right? So for right now, what I can do is just kind of move this down and about where I think it needs to be for me to clear all this. I'm gonna hold it here. I'm doing this slightly different from last time, but it is about the same kind of idea, where you're just going to mark it. And what did I do with my pencils? Oh my goodness, you guys. I think I probably took it with me over there. Okay. So I'm just going to mark here to here. And what happened last time, I did go ahead and just mark it where it was, and then I took it in a little bit. Whatever it is that you think you need to do for this to work out. So this is slightly different from what I did last time, like I said. But what we're going to do is take this and just bring it here. And it's already, I'm already accounting for that difference in size. So, because the way I brought my paper up. So I'm just going to cut that off right on the line I drew. And then on this side, we're also going to just clip that off. So just right on that line, hopefully. And there we go. And then when I bring it over here, it should matte layer pretty well here. So last time I just marked it and then I cut a 1/16 of an inch inside the line that I drew. This time I brought it down to where I think I would be, and I drew the line and then I cut on the line. So there's a couple different ways to make a matte layer, okay? Whatever's easiest for you. Again, you just saw what I did here. I'll link the video and you can see what, you know, we did over there, and whatever you like. But look how cute. So I have a lot of ideas. Let me cut my matte layers and then we'll go from there. So as far as the matte layers, you know, it's whatever you want. I know sometimes people contact me like, oh, I didn't really hear what you said about the matte layers. Guys, do whatever you want. You can measure this and do whatever you want. So it can be smaller. It can be right on the edge. If you're going to be punching, maybe you want to make it a little bit taller so when you punch it, it fits. Or you're just doing a punched border. Or it's up to you. Whatever you want. But if you like 1/8 for the small pocket, for this area right here, it's 2 3/8 by 6 7/8. The large pocket is 3 3/8 by 6 7/8. The back area, which is inside here and also on the back, is 4 7/8 by 6 7/8. And then the top and bottom gusset are really small. I think I wrote that incorrectly. It should say 1 1/8 or 6 7/8. Ooh, sorry guys, I just caught that. Because it's only 1 1/4 inches, so 1 1/8. by 6 7/8, right? 1 1/8, 6 7/8. If you like, and then the top part, again, I did just like the back, 4 7/8 by 6 7/8, and then cut your little area. If you like quarters, we're doing small pocket 2 1/4 by 6 3/4. The large pocket area 3 1/4 by 6 3/4. The back area would be 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. That means like the whole back, this whole last, behind here, and also this top piece are all going to be the same size. And then the top and bottom gusset is 1 by 6 3/4, right? This area, if you like quarters. So I'm gonna cut my matte layers and I'll be right back. My beautiful little matte layers here, how cute. A lot of them, you're not gonna see a whole lot of it, so if you want to use plain papers for that, whatever, maybe some little baubles or like some lace or something cute, right? Die cut across the top, however it is you want to decorate things. For now, I think I'm going to spend most of my time just making like a shaker on this. So I think in this video I'll make my shaker mix too. That way I'll have the shaker mix for my actual swap, and then I'll use it in this. And then I have my pretty ones over here for the other one, right? Whenever I get to making the second one when I finish it up. So I have all my pieces, and I put this backwards just so I remember that goes on the back. When you start doing all your matte layers and you're like, okay, what was I intending? I kind of forget sometimes. So I'm just going to glue these down. And the reason I was going to do something cute here, but I want to use a Velcro closure. And if you use Velcro and this is something loose, it'll just rip it. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I don't want to get into that. So I'm just going to glue these guys down. So glue that one there, glue this one in here, glue this one in here. And that's kind of what it's looking like already. Right? So cute. So I will resort to another glue. I'll be back. Oh, this guy's doing a good job. And I'm really going to put glue in that center because, again, I want to use Velcro, and I don't want to pull that up and be stuck with the thing. So there's that. And then again, glue, put it down. Again, plan it out. If there's something else that you wanted to do that needs to be stuck behind this or whatever, then just make sure you're doing that right. A lot of times in the videos I'm doing it kind of simply because I want you guys to see like what, going all out, but at the same time with some, just a little cleaner look. But some people like to really dress it up, whatever your style is, right? Everything inside, we're gonna decorate the front. I really want to make sure that this still looks like an envelope, so if we just really cover this up, it's gonna be impossible to see that. But yeah, I'll glue this one down, and I'll glue this one on the back, and I already gave you the matte sizes for all those, and I'll be back. Okay guys, so I have stuck everything down. Generally what I do is I come back at the very end and I'll do like something on the back here that's very flat that might have my info on it so that the person always has that there, stuff like that. And I just realized I didn't do the 1-inch strip. I may or may not do that, so we'll see. Just leave these, or maybe I'll put one on the top. But again, whatever matte layer you like there, you can definitely do that. What I'm thinking about doing is some shakering, like I said. And I know a lot of times what I do is I do the shaker. You can do it obviously with acetate. I like the way it looks with this stuff, some tulle. And I got this one that's a little bit brighter pink, just because I know by the time you put it on here, if you use a light pink, it's very hard to see it, but this one's a little bit brighter, so it pops a little more. Ooh, it makes my camera act funny. So I'll use this, and then I usually use a sewing machine, but you might not have a sewing machine. So what I want to do is show you how I would do this, just gluing it down. So that's what we're going to do right now. But to do that, I need shaker stuff. So I'm going to put this to the side for a moment, and this also. What I'm going to do is go ahead and put a shaker mix together, and I had picked these up recently at Dollar Tree, and I thought they were really cute for videos like this, so it's just something cute. I don't know, I might go ahead and package it up also in this video, just so that this video is the loaded pocket and the shaker. I like to try to do some parts of the tutorial so you kind of know what we're going for. Now, I said at least a tablespoon of the mix, and this, a 1/4 cup is actually 3 tablespoons. I'm going to mix it in here though, just so that I have a little more space. And I guess I could take these apart if I wanted to. Look how cute. They even have a heart at the end. Oh my gosh, you guys. Adorable. So this is going to be the bulk of my mix. So this is pastel hearts from Recollections from Michaels. And yeah, there's more than 3 colors in there. I'm not talking about colors, I'm talking about types of things. So I'm going to put plenty of these because I want that to really be the main part of this. And you can die cut like small shapes if you want, like little hearts or something like that. Would be really wonderful. I really wanted to bring some of this in. This is some sequins. This is the Easter Hobby Lobby sequins that I think the colors just really go really well. So again, that's a thing. It's sequins. There are different colors in here, but we don't want just 3 different colors of the same thing, right? So don't just include this and say, oh, that's great. No, we're not doing that. I did get these. These are also sequins, but I like the hot pink nature of them, but not too many of these because honestly I wanted to stay more pastel but fun. And I know there are some darker like pinks and darker purples in my paper and stuff, so just a little pop of something. So not too much of that one. And then I have these little blue hearts. Again, a little bit stronger in color. So I'm just gonna do a few of those, but they are pretty small, so I'm not gonna be too shy with that. And then these little opal cream dots, which are always lovely. They're just like dots, like confetti pops. And I want to make plenty of this, so I'm gonna see what containers I was gonna put this in. I haven't really thought about that yet. Let me go grab something, and then plus we need some for our actual shaker. And then I was also thinking, where'd they go the other day? I have lots of little hearts still from when I made the tutorial for Diamond Press, their new conversation heart set, which I'm gonna do a whole bunch more of because I want more of these hearts. So I think within there, I'm also gonna put some little hearts inside there, but I'm not gonna put them in the mix. So let's put those to the side. And that's just for, you know, my decoration of this outer piece here. And let me get one of my little shovels and let's give it a mix and see what we come up with. First, you want to give it a good mix because there's lots going on in here and everything should, you know, end up everywhere. I know, although the smaller bits kind of went to the bottom because I can see mostly the hearts and things, but how cute, what a fun, just sweet mix, okay? Oh, that's why I should have taken it off the holder. Okay, let me grab something to put this in and I'll be right back. Put my mix in these vials. Sometimes I use, again, those little hollow bags. I will link the holographic bags. It's these guys. Actually, they look really cute with Valentine stuff. On that same link, there's like fuchsia and light pinks and blue, like every color, white, completely clear, you know, all those different things. They close up really well. That's why I like those guys. Am I gonna funnel this? Let me see if I can make like a little funnel shape. That'll probably be best. Probably not this. Let me get some scrap paper that I can make like a little funnel with, and I'll be right back. Just a piece of printer paper that I can kind of get going in there. And I'm just going to take a moment to funnel most of this in. That'll be my shaker mix for the swap, and then I need some extra for my little project that we're going to do. Now, I have said in the past that I will count a shaker as part of like an extra embellishment. And that, you know, I'm putting mine on the outside. I don't think that's going to be the case for this time around. If you're putting a shaker on the outside, you still have to include something on the inside. The whole point of the one on the inside is to fill it out. So I'm changing that statement I've made. I've never written it out, but I usually say, well, if you do a shaker, I'll include that as an extra embellishment. But no more. I think that's going to be it. Yeah, I think that'll... Okay, and I'll do a second one just like this, and I'll be right back. Cuties, I will definitely decorate this later, if that means putting like a little something on top, a little heart, rhinestone, maybe a little tiny scallop circle with a heart, that'd be cute. So maybe some twine, maybe something around here, however it is. But for right now, we are going to use this. I'm going to use probably my hot glue gun at some point, but just to start this off, I want to grab my piece of paper. I'm going to grab this, and we're going to wrap this a little bit if we can. Just leave a side open, which for me will probably be this top part. I'm trying to see if it's less bubbly in one area than the other. I feel like the bubbles are really on this outside. Like it feels flatter on this side, so I'm going to put this flatter side against this and trim this down. And the only reason, actually I should give myself some extra. I'm going to use double-sided tape first, just to give me something to start with. Again, you can sew this and it looks really cute. And not hard, you guys. Honestly, it's pretty easy to sew something like this. But what I'm going to do is use some double-sided tape. And do I need to open one? I thought I had one open already. Let's get something here. Just to kind of help me start off holding this down. It's not going to do the greatest job, okay? I will say, I'm sure 100% this is not going to help out at all. You don't really have to do this on top of your stuff either. So I'm gonna line this out for a certain amount. What is going on? Okay. Look at the little center thing wanted to fall out. Okay. Just gonna help myself out a little bit. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm just gonna line this whole thing. Hot glue gun. Ooh, one more little carrier piece here, and I'm just gonna kind of stick this down. You know, obviously we can trim this down in a little bit, but I'm just trying to get this stuck down in a way that helps me out. It may or may not. Okay, just to start off with. I'm just pushing into that double-sided tape. And, ooh, see how little I left on that side? That's crazy. Okay, so I am going to take a little bit of my mix. Oopsie. The reason I'm using the tape is to help me to not burn my fingers, like some of it's already being held down, you know? So I'm going to open this up. Take some of my mix, pour it in there, and I'm not going to do like a whole ton of it, but something. Maybe like that. Funny enough, some of these might be small enough to come out of some of these holes. Like, it kind of moves. I doubt it will, but there's areas where it's kind of gouged. And then these guys are going to go in here too, but I'm going to turn them face down because obviously we want them to be facing the right way. So I'm going to pop these in here. Just a few, because I'm still going to put something else on top of this. So as you can see, this is a nice element, but it's going to stay relatively flat. That's what I'm looking for as far as decorating your envelope, you know. And again, this part. And you can trim some of that stuff down if you want. Get rid of some of it. Just there's not so much bulk back there. To be honest, I prefer to sew it. It looks really cute. But, like I said, now everybody has a sewing machine, and this is a fun way of getting the same kind of look, but without a machine. Let's see what this is doing. Okay, so I'm just kind of taking a moment to settle things down, and then I'll use my hot glue gun to really help me hold that stuff down, and then we'll bring that up to our the front of our envelope, and that will be the basic loaded envelope. Again, I'm still going to do more decoration. I'm sure I'm either going to do maybe some die cutting, maybe in here, maybe some pom-pom trim, because if you put it here, it's going to make it stick out right. Really, on this first one, it should be kind of flat. So just keep those things in mind. I'm going to erase these little bits. I think my hot glue gun is still heating up, so just erasing those little pencil marks. Again, in the other tutorial, I had showed how to overlap it just a little bit more than what I have. I have mine just like right on here and here, but if you want to overlap it just a little bit, I did that in the other tutorial. So what I'm going to do right now is just put a little hot glue to help me keep these corners down before I bring it to my project. And ooh, where's my little spatula my friend gave me? Here it is. Ooh, I should have brought that out earlier. Thank you. I believe it was Kimberly Mitchell that gave me this guy. Gonna put that there. It actually helps you flatten this out, but it also flattens out the glue, which is good. Again, this has like these little paint puffs. Like, I can probably do without that, so I'm gonna take it off. Get rid of that bulkiness. So I'm just gonna go around and just basically glue down the corners. And making sure they're nice and like flush. You see, I'm kind of bringing it in this way, nice and tight. And hopefully, this isn't really tulle. Just so you know, this stuff is, it's more like a mesh. So I think tulle would be better because it'll stay more complete and tight. You know, where this stuff is like a little bit gauzy, a little bit wonky. Okay, and I'll hold that down too. I love doing these loaded pockets. They're so fun. So hopefully, even if you don't join, you're trying it out, maybe. I know some of you guys said you made them for Christmas gifts, like stocking stuffers, which is really fun. Let me turn this over and see how much. Yeah, so again, this stuff is super gauzy. I wouldn't be surprised if some of this kind of comes out, but very cute. And then I even have my little sweethearts and all those things in there. So when we bring this over here, I'm just going to glue this down. And again, I always make my 3D projects and then I do my layering. If that was easier for you to do this when it's flat, do it when it's flat, you know. Ooh, by all means, look at this glue. Gotta pay attention to what that glue thing is doing. Okay, I really do want it right along the edges. And I'm just eyeballing this, obviously, but I'm keeping it within what I think this other thing would do. And just pop it on here carefully. And again, if you want to do the liner on the inside, you can definitely do that. I left it off the other one too. I'm not sure. It's so funny though, because an envelope liner normally is up here, and this one I'm like, oh, I'll just leave that blank. And then I have doilies I was thinking about using here actually, so I don't know if I'll do the doily. Maybe the doily can go on like a bag, maybe the die cut bag or something. But you can put a little doily up here. But I do want this to be kind of free and clear, so when I do my closure, oh my gosh, you guys, look at that, how sweet. So to close this guy up, I'll use a piece of Velcro. Actually, let me go ahead and grab that. I do have snap closures. That's another thing you can do. Of course, if you have a snap closure, you definitely need to think about when you're putting this together where you're putting it and all that. But let me grab some Velcro. Alright guys, so today we have the basic rules, guidelines. Of course, I'll follow up with videos. Please watch them front to back, everything as they come out. Oh, and I always ask, how do you guys do this? I always use like the part that's like, you know, the hook and eye or whatever they call these things. But I usually put the tougher part down, which I just did that backwards. Silly me. I just want to make sure. I am putting a little bit of hot glue just to keep that on there. I have seen sometimes in the swaps that I think this glue might reactivate a little bit, and so they get kind of gooey, and then it doesn't want to actually open. It's just like a very odd thing. Like it wants to pull up everything. So let's leave that there. And that is my loaded envelope sweetheart theme. I guess it kind of sounds like sweet tarts, but it's just called sweethearts because we're making the heart stickers. I am super excited to try that out and follow up with that. So that'll probably be in the next video just because it is the more different thing. And you guys can check that out. Again, I'll have a rosette video probably before I do that. That doesn't have anything to do with the swap, but if you want to make a heart rosette, that's where you're going to really learn how to do that. At least the way I did it. And I guess that's it, guys. All right, have a great day. I'll see y'all at the next one. My email is in the description box. That's the one thing I forgot to mention at the beginning to sign up. Email's in the description box. Again, if you're already in a swap right now, I will put you kind of, not so much waitlisted, it's just, let's see how this day goes. You know, I give about a day and then I'll start responding to those people and then in order as they came in. So, all right, guys, we'll have a lot of fun with it. You know, looking forward to seeing what you guys create. And I'll see y'all at the next one. Bye now.